No vex. They have pushed our every button, oh, I wonder what is next. Monkey they walk, baboon they chop, baboon they chop. Them notice. 122 Radio Culture. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much if you are logged in with us. Yes, if you're on modernghana.com, search Radio Culture on modernghana.com. You can also reach us on 12 or so other platforms. You are also watching us live on YouTube, and I believe I'll get a confirmation for you, but I believe on TikTok as well. Thank you very much for making the time with us. This is Weekend Editorial with yours truly, Kwesi Esan Bako, in the seat. Today, I am very fired up because I have a very special guest, unannounced, as I would say. You know, normally we put out the publicity and everything. This time, I'm sneaking him up on you. And you will be excited. Believe me, I can promise you that. All right, once again, this is Weekend Editorial with yours truly, Kwesi Esan Bako. Before we start the show, I would like you to listen to this piece of, to this soundbite that I'm going to play, and I'll be right back with my guest, my special guest for today, to discuss the subject for today. Listen to this one. On Wednesday, September 30th, a group of Ghanaians calling themselves concerned citizens living in the USA embarked on a protest outside the United Nations buildings as President John Dramani Mahama addressed the gathering of world leaders. The protest was to back calls by the country's biggest opposition for a new voters register ahead of the 2016 general elections.
Electoral dispute is very expensive. It happened in Cote d'Ivoire. The same thing happened in Rwanda, Liberia, Sierra Leone, all the places. It's because of electoral dispute. MPP has identified foreigners in our register. Not just foreigners. They don't qualify. If a foreigner in there you want to, because if you try to steal the will of the people, there is a quote. It said those who resist a peaceful democratic change will make violence inevitable. So if they resist the new register, all they need is they want violence. And you know, take our history. People fought for the nation Ghana. In 1947, when J.B. Danko and Co. started, it was not easy. People died out of the struggle. So we want to build a better Ghana, not what they are saying.
Ghana goes to the polls in November next year to elect a president and over 270 legislators. In the last election, the NPP resorted to the Supreme Court to challenge the results that ushered in John Dramani Mahama as president. The country's Electoral Commission has promised to look into the issues raised without promising a new voters register as yet. For Sahara TV, Kwesi Bako. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So this was 8 years ago. And my guest that I'm about to introduce, I met in New York and interviewed him, and that soundbite that I played came from him. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you my guest for today, Mr. Hobson Adoye. He needs no introduction at all. I call him the man of the moment. When he speaks, a lot of people pay attention. Let me give you an example before we go. Please indulge me. The NPP came up with this talk about John Dramani Mahama being a drunkard and whatnot, right? This party was struggling to deal with that. Hobson Adoye gave one interview and doused that once and for all. Enough said. All right. Welcome to Radio Culture. Big bro, I call him Big Bro. Hobson, welcome.
Thank you.
Hobson, 8 years ago,
Yes, sir.
Kaise, we met in New York. And at the time, the call was for an audit of the voters register. Do you remember that? Okay. And then full cycle, 8 years, we are calling for the same exact thing. What are your thoughts?
Oh, that's it. Medical venture. It's your foot now.
It's for that.
My voice will forward on Fajami. I'm saying, when you never freedom.
Me patcho, fetch me.
We took my bedroom, the Pantiman Yenti.
I see.
Yo, that's it. And okay. 8 years ago, Mekai, say in New York, have a Kasapi, I did demonstration club of this year. Don't Mahama. Yeah, who did they
were United Nations.
Now, I did about Kwamba when they say Ghana. You see, we need a neutral person to change our political architecture. I just you say 100 years. Be anywhere basis. Anywhere basis. Because this is a party na 8 years ago. Yes, you know, Electoral Commission. There might be a koye. As I say, as a register any day. And the leaders made us to believe with a register no munya kai. Electoral Commission and do your papa the nyadi on basis. Lo and behold, register na say no. Ya tuaba na MPP are winning with
the extra in NPP. There you go.
A difference of 1 million votes. Hey, register and you know the awareness. So, I feel MPP transfer 8 years. NDC 8 years ago, no register there, Papa BBI okay. And then almost say. MVP says, oh, yeah, clone. That is the country we live in. So, your position is say yes, Ghana for Kakotwaba. Ghana for this, I say, Omu Konifa, Omu decide this, Omu Kobe. That one. But one thing I be NDC for who can say we and Kaze foreigners above him. So na Obiatna baby illegally no or what we call gerrymandering.
Yes.
Like Otimi move from one point to another.
Redesign the whole structure of the electoral way.
The whole structure. Number 2, or more assign transfers free but or more transfer to say me say our Valley View University campus. Maybe or more free campus. The finance said the Marco to Kaswa. Minimum. Ntiada me kosa be kwa to aba no. Be dru ho no. Yes odin nim.
Yeah.
Wo be den wo hu baby a odin.
Baby a odin wo. By the time I be hu odin na mo ato aba na wi.
Ni ato aba na o kwa go hu no bo wa he. So we dey no. So it means say you deny you cannot vote completely.
Yeah.
And then that be a director of policy ya bo bia samwa. No TV3. And we say, your position is a Yababa trading. You register 2020. And yet, later say, and no mammy ID card. Said no, I'm the Betuaba. 2020, Makako Tuaba. Because 2024, I was in the
Yeah.
How would that be possible? And you know, Electoral Commission ready say near Encrofono can obey audit of a year. Then what it means is say Sabikitama Yinase withdrew Honoma as a Sabituaba. But the danger in it is say your transfer their call baby. Now we do or so didn't but took it ID card the chess a higher now register any other. Yama Tuaba, baby, I do Diacono, or bet you do Biatu.
Or before Frack or 2 Ashim or Hama, yes.
Yes. Because it's a electoral, and shedder and yes sound. And it can happen that way. More to the point, it's party in government, a plan so very now OBTV Efre was here. More cost perform. See I yet day, about the upper win.
Yeah.
Now, all say gradually no. Yango also and then almost 20 kakra. So, Sabe, one plan is over reggae elections in Ukraine. Yanka, I don't know who you did now what for. Oh, every people lose to Ghana for a pamucho.
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah. We moved on. You were 1 million ways to win. Obviously, my backtrack is small because me perceive you clear they be answer the trust me for sure. Who make it point be say NDC at power no, then people wasn't comfortable with the we say no. And as I say, so now the tables now turning. But you also made a point say that same electoral register now you say and no and an MPP for the win here. But this time around, no. First of all, we have a history of an electoral commission who declare results 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And we're already nervous about that. And after years, how could face election? You can say equipment, including their workers here. And do you think say the same situation, the same thing now?
Yeah, slightly different, but the end results, every year, Bibia, Ewo So, what we say, Tama, 2020, they say, not get some minute to because technical teams, why pressure, the pressure is so, or total valid vote cast. I don't know the discrepancy no buy. It says total vote cast. So you can't total vote cast now rejected the spoiled ballot.
Does that go to the heart of incompetence though? Because your electoral commissioner, Nase or minor, a heartbeat in their will cancel, right? And then you come up and make a blunder like that now. Does that go to the heart of incompetence, Hobson?
Sir, Obi Ohoduma, what Mami Ba is a Matisse and Crawford or solid. Our electoral commission in our transfer. Yes, or mighty guy. I mean, what Dano Jani de Pamugra or Bubo or Pet True Bibia. Yes, what you know about question a Takradi. Nipana ordinary headquarters, every beer will rely on the guy to do the proper execution of whatever he's doing. So why that? But yeah, do Bekubia as a manager, we are there. Your success depends on the technocrats. And yet, look, and
so
yet,
career, that's right. That's what they are, yeah.
Yeah, your minister, who to chief director, the technocrats there, woman a big guy do say, you say, do who won him there a war on there, but Omono, a year.
They've been on the ground, yes.
It is Omuna Betrecho, you say, yes. It is our corners on new technocrats, and you could. Now your consultation, yeah, and no, what's society. Now your argument say, oh dear, what being, at one casa. What do you your wound another papa yajuma? Yeah, obey. So, okay. Eti we no sape pepe na bagwe. I say, what can we na akwa kusi bibi. Get me pesa me davete, but let me
feel free. Me pacho, ye didn't come out. The opposite directing if you are fafani Indian come on.
Oko a Japadia document. I'm saying,
there you go.
Page 23, it is stated, say, as I say, Obi to say, your Papa Danka Williams. the voice say druba.
Yes.
And you know, you so electoral commissioner. No one in your fine. Uncle Kondo, no Bonko, no Srempai ball. Number papa in your confidence in you. Now feel on fire and can't have a say, oh, electoral process to be Pia Bay free and fair. Papa did you to Missa. Send this for Casa, Obetima Kulu down. It's in there, page 23. That's it. And yet, now, a Japanese and we bay, hey, our papa who say, hey, such strategy in the same that year. And no crisis.
But okay, nonsense, so say, or the bompa ye do be a kese a man for near there. Connect honey, mammy. Where was that? What was that coming from?
Who said a Japanese say, I know must take you woman. Anna, a job with Jais Empire no go. We also make us an empire and ya no one, as I say, or Casa. Also, Casa.
Yeah.
Because you see, ma yen tenasi, when you near the way, Benny, they say it boils down to one thing: winner takes all.
Yes.
If we run a system where MPP win here, say MPP here, hey, you have nothing.
Yep.
You have no access. You have no power. Nothing.
Yes.
Says Okunipa Pradibo Bukunipa. And no, Anna, Allah could you chairman per se, ye ND. What's it? What can I say? What we said no. I don't know, and Kuyi. Yenya a government of national unity, where every political party will have a representation in government.
Yep.
Etia basana, who said, Afe a nibreno a show no a beko from Gagra. Because the BB and a wope ewa baimwa, you have someone there who be tiba pass it through. Nyama ya na manfo enye digina de yesika.
Not at all. The thing is, political parties, you come on the heels of promises, right?
That's right.
Yeah, but you say you'll be a business person or a business opportunity be, and
that's right.
It's legitimate. That's what you campaign for. That's what I'm here to ask for. And yeah, anything strange, as long as it's done in the open, of course.
That's right. So a government of national unity where people are in government, not on the political colors, on the meritorious grounds. I think, say,
speaking of that,
party way may be passing. Papa de Namono, Ghana for Omuodim dear. Odimomu, Oboya CPP inclined, Odimomu, Obobu PSC, Odimomu. Odimandisi for the people. Academia for a him for Odim say yes, our anyway, say no what here, or Wodim Diano, Odimo. Sophobia or no officers as of Widia, who you soon has a baby, Odimo. Eti Alan, Edisa Adeno Eba system no Musedia Beya, Ebe and this mistrust ya political parties Eba Bedro election.
So speaking of that, me and examine sideways. So people are calling for a review of the constitution, right? And let me take certain aspects of it and let's look at that. The way the electoral commissioner is appointed. Isn't it problematic, Hobson? Because you see, John Mahama Bai Obey appointee Charlotte or say, people thought she was inclined towards him, right? Even though he lost an election in her hands. After Yehu Diakoso so with Jean Mensah and Akufo-Addo. Do you think, Ghanaians, maybe the general population, should have more of a say in who becomes the electoral commissioner? Because you say, if a party comes and appoint an electoral commissioner now say ye will be on agreeing with the house, okay, me the may prepare, then we're in trouble.
And no, I'm saying, once Nipa will be shared that and take time and ready Alan the GTP plan. I'm unfortunate and ready. Obey president. Una to me, Ghana to me, Jinasha was that. Even Yakase appointee will be for Bola security gra president. Everything president. Alan is ready as a president to relieve some of these powers. Recently, unwashable say, Oba institution like Council of State, Obegunu, Obekam. Now we're creating second chamber of parliament.
There you go.
That second chamber of parliament, Alan and the president are 2 million constitution, their mother, Oba will be their second chamber of parliament. Number one, Chief Justice, second chamber of parliament, Ankasa, Ebe Shishim, Ayo Mwankasa interview, Anya, Chief Justice, Edia Momaino. Chairman of Electoral Commissioner, second chamber of parliament, and then the president even nominated Nomako Shishim, in Betino. Chamber Nankasa, and the Babe Shishim, the way he. Nipa or say efata. IGP on the bed. Sir, institutional heads na womo and the share ebo minor koso a year. Because a president appoint you munti, a yanakana for NDC.
That's right.
It is a second chamber and appointing IGP. Who are you as a minister to call IGP and say, do this, don't do this?
And the second chamber will even act as a check on the work of the parliament itself, not just the executive, even the parliament itself. The second chamber will act as a check on them.
Yes,
that's brilliant. What him say menti sa well was some shada and no tenasi bio Bra Hobson. They shada a go into GTP ni pa, you know, but as much of it as possible. But I would say tenasi ni shada breaking it down because Menti BBC, for instance, even though I've heard, about the great transformational plan and all of that, maintain this aspect that so introduce another chamber of legislation. Maintain that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see.
This is why the political parties, you have to open up more, because the number of Ghanaians the number of Ghanaians abroad, and Hobson, you know this because I met you in New York. The number of Ghanaians are not more backing MPP at the time. Said they were instrumental in Akufo-Addo winning that election, the 2016 election. Right. So you know the power of the Ghanaian in the diaspora. But anyway, I
and yes, Abia, cannot just like that. Offer GTP, a great transformational plan. We over under governance cluster at the page 42 of GTP. There were 2.1.5. Council of State. Mame and Kainiti.
Okay.
Abolish the Council of State and establish a new second chamber of parliament with representation from key stakeholders group, including the faith-based organization, traditional authority, professional bodies, artisanal association, gender-based organization, the private sector, labor unions, academia, and diaspora, and EWD, that's persons with disabilities.
Wow.
The second chamber will be vested with powers of oversight over executive action, participate in approval process of appointment to independent constitutional bodies, and review budget of ICBs and the arms of states for approval by parliament. So, eti say okreti sa ayuya beshe say faith-based organizations, yebenyan crofoflo, traditional authorities, professional bodies, artisans, association, gender-based organization, private sector, labor unions, the academia. Now, Nkrofoa omutia brochire omo akwakusua de omo wonim de omo aye adwuma ohodom based on omo experience omo beti maboa oman no ye de omo aba. Of course na wahwe eka ne disability for wahwe omo so na odi omo akọ nti sankofo we say what the powers bi ba be ma wo mo a omo eda eba be the power of oversight.
Ena, hope se me pacho sticky pink akama me. Unim say bibisa no ebema it puts more power directly in the hands of the people. Right? Because my more example, Sisiano, member of parliament, who you haven't even seen before, you don't know him. Member of parliament ne call. That's why Kwaku voted for Bibi. That party are whipping into line. Right? No Kwaku voted for Bibi, that may not be in your interest. Nay, they came near the call. But if we have a second chamber that consists of, for instance, artisanal groups, Full Sellers Association chairman na yede wakwa kwatina ho no. O kokko yensem hunu bia say yenimo. And you are representing the interests of that particular group. And I think it's a brilliant stroke. But it was yet in a domo ye pa. You know, not just this, all the whole entire way, you know, in our GTP, in our I'll say it meetings in a breaking ye pa. You're breaking it down.
The Santi, I know so bad. Amend Article 70, 190, 195, 202, 207, 212, 232/2 related to appointment of heads of independent constitutional bodies and other public sector entities and the heads of security services to make appointment of the said officers by the president in Adeno. But some crofoni no or Baba Mendisa articles no wama ye can say the second chamber of parliament no to me our mobility nyere evitim nyaye. Me say I'm out for MPGTP no more kind.
No in an abridged version. I'm also you say reading a problem. What would you?
Soft copy
and not just soft copy, like an abridged version. I'm out for what say you?
Oh yeah, Breja, obey union money be a few say, oh, may per key point to be for kind of mutiasia.
Okay.
So, what kind of mutiasia? And no, Anna, you see, Sansa we are a Obitigana or no, Nasabo, Nipana Kuskupa, or would him dear, while we the degree are your masters. And so Sansa we are working in Ano. Because of your two party,
exactly. A Hona Camedeo Kono, because Obisu saw no why not didn't say you won't need to party mono. I feel now Obabe introduces something new and revolutionary, avant-garde like that to them, no. Asa Kwaye Bibia was say or immersing who to read and no. Yeah, yanko for ya nana, yanko for ya, you me catch almost say, you can say, Jomahama a drunkard, then no dinner so the twaba. Won't have me che. Yanko for it to make say. You know, those type of things. How are they going to read something like that? Before say you should really consider putting out an abridged version. I'm for me. I'm reading to get a summary of the ideas. You know, and also even put out a visual. So people are lazy these days. You know, all the short video be 5 minutes long that sums up the idea. I think that will make a great impact. But me too, Pacho.
Appointment like Osha amend Article 144/1 and 2 in the case of appointment of Chief Justice and other justices to Supreme Court to require the President to make the said appointment in consultation with the Second Chamber to be established in place of Council of State and with the approval of so yes say President now you don't necessarily say Mahemwa we na party ninti yafanonko any ade. Nebo second chamber no etnasi no mu ya second chamber no so there ye fa him we be through elections any ade representation of maybe other groups are yewo eti yakasa Christian Council mo elect ni pa ba ko enfa numra you can say TUC we let the papa ko padumra no ejawo president no akwa fa ni padaba.
Yes, but me issue back who or hold as my all kind assembly na dey back where ba majum so faith-based groups, right? Now faith-based groups no Ghana is a secular state. Wo ho. It is say faith-based groups maybe Muslims or representation or honum me find say Christians, me find say how about smaller groups say be more mainstream, right? But
we recognize worldwide, we recognize three main religions: the Christian, the Islam, and then the traditional worshippers.
You mean in Ghana?
And these three there will be catered for.
Okay.
And smaller now, one way or the other should be in these three.
I'm not too sure about that, but all right. Of course, I'm sure that there are some edges that need to be trimmed and fine-tuned.
Your Pentecostal, your apostolic, the Orthodox now, or Moses say, oh, yeah, or Christian cancer, you carry bishop of so and so. On an idea, constitution, recognize,
Anyway, Hobson, what can Christian Council, Mayanka Christian Council for Wansem Kakra? What do you think of the Christian Council?
Christian Council today is not the Christian Council Ananka in Ebro Mushe or Munjumasi. Just a Yama Echo. I mean, you lose focus. Nanka Christian Council there. And Kabibi Enkoyo Maimu, not the president or the general secretary of the Christian Council, Ekasa, because he said to me, I was Wabai. So, but and Yehunizana, Debbie, who a sofo, okay? One thing I say, Ghana, a sofo be a hypocrite without any form of disrespect. And they say, how can you say religious tolerance? Religious tolerance, are you good? But yes, you move from Ghana. There is no any tension between
religions
and Muslims, Christians and traditional worshippers, or Muslims and traditional worshippers. The tension behind Muta.
True.
Tension NC Muta. Ya twa basa babu 8 or so. Tension behind NC between. But now you're Christian, now you're Christiania. It will be very odd to see a Christian pastor rooting for a different religion. Sana ubia woye Islam ni. So a very odd to him we say, and a can say Islamic a can say Imam and I say Bibisa, a root for maybe traditional worship and I say Bibisa. So on the but and Ghana has a dear you. Who is a ultimate toss of Winina? Very bad. Very bad. Hey, now you want so phobia no more here.
Kasa.
As someone making. What have you bought among Kajamis everywhere? Because Bible says, assume any Chakabia. Media, me benefia me sorry. Yeah, Bompire, can you say, Malambia Cabrich, and then
Hobson, what will video be? Means what will video be? Trendy, I almost say Dr. Baumia call some shrine or something like that. Before you respond to that, let me make my we'll go first. That means what was that video now? What do you think? I don't want some man okay.
Near election, Edinburgh Ghana had a get to the two election. Bema TV kwaji oba fantasy.
I'm afraid to me kuni adenye easy o.
Hey, nebi wo fufu. Nebi atani ama
consio.
Consio dina. Ni election di bagruma.
But Obsi, this is my take on that thing though. When we say as a head of state, no, Obabeye the leader of everybody. And to me personally, I don't see anything too wrong with a Muslim going into a church or into a shrine or anything like that, as long as it's done in the open and with the right intention. Because Obabeye the leader of everybody, and it's a one to me and trust with Obia on new religion more. Me feel that you are not ready for office. And
I didn't know other faith-based Christians no more. Every Friday, more mosque. I didn't know more mosque every Friday.
Good question.
Does it mean say Muslims in Ghana? Allah, Nadam for pa ye chief imam. Nadam for pa. What Sunday when Rusukrano? Chief imam to be called Lambo. Allah ko chief imam ho. One million for. One will say, incredible for a year independence square now land is you all know the moment before. What will be that? But before then, Alan ever called chief imam of ye. He did the assessor or present Biana or presented. Because last say, or more you say, make a who be the boy or Tomu and wa a citre. I mean, you may be. And you are presenting my chief imam, a woody fee. I don't need a deal como, and a job bomb by a man. Yevi or Muka Kushia, Aquaco Musumun, one put in a movie. Look, Ghana, Ghana is a Christian country, a Christian nation. And it's true. The population, 33 million people, it was 72+% a year. Christians.
I don't believe that.
Who believe
you? We believe they say the Christians are in the majority, of course. It's obvious. But 72%, I don't believe that.
Oh, Ghana's statistical service, you don't believe that. Where from your belief?
Well, okay, it's something I haven't researched, so I have to research
housing that. And population census. Yeah, but near Bissau, sorry, you was me a Christian and I'm a Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, I deal with Muslims. Right. Okay. Don't constitute 20% of our population, or we are 17 point something.
Okay, but when we say every me too.
You may think you say we are Muslims. The Christians in Upper West, also say Muslims in Upper West.
I'm aware that there are a lot of Christians up there, especially Catholics.
Upper East, the Christians and then the traditional authorities in the Upper East are more than the Muslims. Maybe are Muslims to occupy a northern region proper. That go be because of no young Ghanaian friend Timothy.
What's the super jobs now?
What say a Christopher Dosso.
It's not we see that religious campaign.
Christian supported one no. But you see, let's go to the Bible. Bible me say, Yankopo bo we say, then we say kona ni mono. Abrante bi ba ya ne friend no Abraham. Abraham try say yaso Yankopo adamfo, Yankopo testing the faith. Then yade. Abraham wo mrante mi no. Bako de Isaac, bako de Ishmael. Yes, Ishmael ye penny and Isaac by Omudru baby. Abraham Ishra Omubino, and no jaw mobile. I know 2 years or Mobako Bomobra. Bibia Ishmael a dominatiano and Demophone diomoso. Bibia Isaac dominatiano a Christophone diomoso. Biblical fact. There's no challenge.
That is if you are looking at it from, say, Christianity came out of the Judaic tradition. Otherwise, I would replace Christianity with Judaism. Because Christianity came way later.
Biblical fact say Christianity came from Isaac descendant. Okay. Islamic, Eba from Ishmael.
From Ishmael, okay.
Do you dispute that?
No, I'm not disputing that.
So simple. And I make sure say, Uko Krubia Swa, baby a Christopher dominating. Would your mammy one example is Christopher dominate to a habit, ye can say, most of what it is. Mammy.
Nigeria.
What happened?
Nigeria has a huge Christian population, but the politics there is hugely controlled by.
The Muslims are more than listen.
Me too.
Check it. The Muslims are more than the Christians. Now, where a Christian
in Nigeria,
President Jonathan, EBD President, you know, who send a Bukum Haram for a Kumkum Kofo, sorry, them, a Shishin, sorry, that is somewhere.
But that I was just giving you an example like you asked for.
In Ghana?
No, of course not.
Do you need that?
Of course not. It's
what is it? What is Bukum Haram for?
What's the point? What's the point, though? What's the point?
What's saying?
Point when I will make you about that.
What are you doing about why you in
me do it cheaper. And I'm trying to connect back to what you're saying about
why is it? Obiko sorry, no fee say your bonnet, Obiko, and make a choice. And yet the GD or the sorry, they will vote in here.
What's your power?
In Ghana here, because they say a Christopher ever determine the election, you know. And yeah, me a communique every Sunday, my pastor, communion.
Matthias,
I mean, what is the meaning of that?
Matthias,
it's a cremonibia, cremonibia, who said the uncle, sorry, the one who said, yeah, a Christopher, one who's a young Christo,
yeah, I see.
Hobson,
Mammy Bisa was saying, what kind of similar natural magic is Mammy Bisa? Some time ago, Nigerian journalist, investigative journalist, your friend of David Hundain, or can send be or tweety be actually me interview no na or you'll be a what done for Nigeria and what Ghanaian citizenship. It's not person can't too much, to be honest with you. But they are maybe gleaning from their no canimono. SMP now or tweety say Nigerian groups be a back Dr. Bawumia campaign. Now group now would name you or mono. What is the your film saying your film this is I'll make I but group now Arewa group in Nigeria now more back Dr. Bawumia campaign. No. They are hugely Fulani based, you know, like be a person best tribal sentiment at all. But then we have to address issues. Now, a group based mostly Fulani, you know, rich people who control, you know, political situations across West Africa. Now, Dr. Bawumia Soje a Fulani. So I tried to connect something there and whatnot. But again, later on, who say another group, that same group here, Besra Dr. Bawumia Wonifie. Now, Utie in some of the things they were saying, they say Fulani for no or more FAC problems because they don't have like a fixed nationality kind of thing. What's up with that? And now I feel so no year. I'm on for so positive say. Sa strategy MPP for Kase or maybe some asking because who are master strategists with the MPP before? Most of our strategists no be who a Sa idea way no. Who be sure say possible say be fun say me fun say Fulani for a bet to me Ghana about be voting during the elections. And kick it back to sa original topic the Bible. About be voting in sa names now. Yeah, transfer could baby ni idea no. Can you make a connection there? Who did this say this a bit messy?
Yo, Nedika Ebiana Fino be joining. Meno me Alpha Frantoni.
That's right.
Yeah, butterfly movement, you know.
That's right.
The
Alan Martin and call for not to be clear.
I no me pese me come because a hot true.
Martin.
Yeah, you about you know a year more than what you are saying. Nyama yetititi. Omo Arab League omo pese omo this support to be banned and look the whole of West Africa. Ghana pay and a terrorist for intimate strike here. Omo strike all the countries with the exception of Ghana. Our Muntimi Emurai. We are Ghana near ma wanina ho.
Wanina ho.
Wabuchi for Ghana. maybe I will bush any football home. Accra Sports Stadium, Kumasi Sports Stadium, but you go once I obe swam or near Senusunasa. Maya Ninda. Let us maintain our state. Share your arrangements. Yeah. Say, like, I don't put the America's MPP for now. Say, President Christian or the Winabano. Let us maintain it. From Kwame Nkrumah pencil, everybody there, the Monibian the president order. And yet by accident. Eti, Mamu Mayen say, ye plan, ye shishay, ye
Asuma okay, yeah. Ebe ya man for din kakra so be deal with o. Ana.
Odain.
Asuma okay, dia say ye modu kakra.
From Kwame Nkrumah, Chairman Kremoni about video my
no, I know your historical fact, but then again, Liman no Muslim, right? Miniatures not Liman ye Muslim.
Liman or a Roman Catholic.
I see.
Liman,
but at the same time, also Hobson, let's face facts though.
Make be picture and yet Christopher and determine who becomes the president of the Republic.
But is that right? Because Ghana is a secular state.
Right to say okay.
That gets them now okay. Ghana is a secular state.
Country what is a minority a rule over majority. Give me one example.
It doesn't matter. It's a
majority rule. Majority rule.
Debbie, Tio. Say Obibet what Mami, one of the smallest tribes in Ghana. One of the smallest.
I'm not talking about tribe.
No, make Kado.
Me say I am not talking.
But tribes should be more relevant than
me say there were tribes more than 47. So we are not talking about tribe. There were 3 major religions in Ghana. There were a majority what determine who controls this country. Period.
But that would be
whether you understand it or not, that is the fact.
It could be a fact, but it's not.
Every Sunday holding handkerchief, dancing more than the Christians.
Also, Sunday we measure that no what you again at that time.
Me say, what they will do that me qualify for say me discuss with what the person for penny be our boat left at the cloud studio on it.
No, but that's the point though, because it's not Ghana Christians there. And to me, for the opinion of a software and find that say no I mean, yes.
I mean say where is it scriptural union I say one Christian organization be no more be 60 years. Anna Omuba Ghana, they visited President Akufo-Addo. In Komodiemono, President Kase, do Ghana's constitution is secular, but practically no, it's a Christian country. Google, President meet word.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it what Akufo-Addo says is not gospel.
Now we are
Hobson, in 2 parts, say, Mebo, Debbie,
what is the point?
The point I'm making is say,
I am telling you, say, Ghana, yes, statistics are Ukra. Christians are the majority.
That's a fact. That could be a fact. That in fact is a fact.
You can say majority ruler. Is it a false?
Yeah, but you can say majority ruler. It defeats the very tenets of democracy. That's what I'm trying to say. Because the year can say, Neba. The BM7 was a review at the end. Because
Ghana's parliament. Go to Ghana's parliament.
Yes.
MPP were 137 MPs. NDC were 137 MPs. And you were 1 independent. That 1 independent must determine who becomes the majority. I don't know who go MPP. In parliament, party be a majority.
We really don't have a majority, but when it comes to voting, we can say,
Ukasa is wrong. You have a majority in Ghana's parliament.
No, we don't. But for the sake of convenience, they have admitted, say, they would refer to the MPP as the majority. Hobson, we all follow this.
Maza.
Yes.
They say, Ghana, you will be a majority for Tran, and you will be a minority
Matthias, for Tran. It's not make sure, say, for the sake of convenience. Say parliament, but me are running into
party bear in the war majority.
Okay, for the sake of argument, the can say MPP in a majority.
And just for the sake of it's a fact.
Okay.
Because Omu BT NDC by one MP among the majority.
Okay. What do you funny, sir?
Me say in democracy, the cardinal principle, yes, a majority rule.
Matthias, but Hobson, there are so many person be sound say. Until you are saying, say, for instance, if we have a Muslim who is smart, who has the ideas, who has the track record, who has everything to show her, because Oya Muslim meeting, he cannot lead the country. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that.
Thank you for not saying that, because that would be like
Ghana's vice president Oya
Muslim. But I'm saying now, person say we should keep them at vice president level and not let them rise to president level. So I'm limited their work. Say me wrong. I'm what's written. And the seminar me wrong because
elections in this country, Christian determine who becomes the president. It's a fact.
To a certain degree,
it's a fact.
But because again, now people like Owusu Bempamo, Ebefu say Omo.
You see, why you go that way, I have to end.
Please don't end
because I don't want
just redirect.
Sensation. I don't want any sensational interview.
Me too.
I did your fact. You can also change now. Your market time.
Okay, Hobson, trust me. No, and yet
you find more about Nipa 100 free bronze, and a Nipa 30 free New Jersey. I know more Bishia. Yes, so for bronze for you and you Nipa Bakuna or Undia Dimu, Jersey for Sunni Nipa Bako. Sankro folk me do a Pako to Musaba. Edia bronze ni bibeti matwa bani biama Jersey Nimo. But at the end of it, because it's a bronze for 100, bronze need to win elections.
Okay.
Whether you like it or not, that is how it is.
Okay.
Young Fanny said, straight and from it's not up to 20% of the vote. It's a fact.
That's right.
Remember, Boniface number now in Indian more about this, or no, what a true Muslim, a Zombo boy or a Zombo boy. Now in Indian Como, now one mouth and why you did.
Okay, but what consider BB say ABR statistics na say 72% Christians. No, Obi who be identified as Christian, but he doesn't really belong to a church and so when it comes to voting, their consideration is not on religious lines. They are considered BB sir.
Obi on you consider as a traditional worshipper.
No, me just Obi or sorry. Obi a Christian, but on Shedan ni sorry bia potting. Who say Obi so no. I know say about voting.
The faith is that Oje Christo this Christo.
But the point I'm making is say Obi sa no on consider say we a Christianity me vote man. That's the point I'm making.
Oje who this we a Christonia, we a Christoni. It doesn't matter. Say we are on sorry every Sunday, now of faith, in Christ, naira. It doesn't matter.
We're not talking about faith in Christ, but anyway. Okay, so let's bring it back. Hobson, with our CPM say around there.
Be a Christian. What is the meaning? It means you have faith in Christ.
We're talking state and nation issues, so until I don't want to go too much into, religious. You kind of saying nitty-gritty. Because then you are speaking to a particular set of people. Not other people are not. Everybody in the state, including people who don't even believe in God at all.
That me pokase ewes also saying I can for. Let us say baby ko ye wo bitim. Yes. It's a fact. It's a fact.
It's a fact. We are not arguing about that too. A fact.
Ghanaians are the most populous tribe in Ghana. You can one single tribe. What would the doors of Asante? True or false?
I can in general. I know that. Yes.
Me say one single tribe. I want the torso party asante. True of us.
I haven't done that research, I can't say. But major
The research is there. Check it.
Major
It is there.
Major tune, yes.
So, I don't know what could do much here. I mean, it's a waste of energy and time. And we do all the one. You knew what in here. You knew what in
here.
Because it's a mayor, I'm going to need to know if you are meant to ask, yes, I can't afford us as young for. I mean, it's will be a bit because I go with BB.
Okay, yo, Mate, me da CP, big bro. Now, before I back on, NDC foresee or more year protest about the electoral register. No, what do you think, saying?
A good cause. Me say na me to kwangakra. Me buy almost an invitation biaba. Or more free all opposition parties to join.
Okay.
Me leader. Emma, I say
I see. One can say this
because
international protester who in Germany. I go protest with Germany now for your New York. That's when I met you, know. International protester. What you say? That's the number the chair will crash over Baba and Sana.
You see, we know it's a good. But the thing is that Electoral Commission, like we are independent, you know, and one of I don't know, so I don't know.
I didn't for Franto and make his statement about the obvious, you know, discrepancies in the register and all these things that are coming up now. For Franto make his statement on that.
Does it matter?
I think it does.
You make a statement, you know.
I think it does, because what kind of crowd said question about maybe so.
I mean, why should Afro-Franto come out? Look,
why? Because who hopes now and I'll catch and say maybe my for we encounter for year no mommy. Who now catch and say election year between Afro-Franto and NDC. Right?
Yeah.
And you know, you are one of the biggest contenders in this race. We have to hear from you, don't you think so? If the base document is faulty, don't you think so?
NDC say you contradict then this question will be valid. What is it? Or more say no.
Oh, your friend emphasis.
Emphasis. Audit. As I say, audit any other. Now for Frantoba outdoor there be audit here. Then you can ask this question. It means we are in support.
Okay, to you, all parties, silence means consent here.
What am I saying? So there is no need go car near the adeno. You know, no, and I make us say, you need a say, oh, go for nothing no more, a good cause. China, me. I will be there. I will represent Afro-Franto and I will make a statement. In 2016, now MPP led my vote counting the other. What they say, PNC, CPP, were more frabera ebekasai. But we had individuals. Were more no better. Protest any other. So that is how it should go. Once NDC has taken this fight, yes, opposition or more opposition. I mean, they are fighting for all opposition parties.
At least they would need a little bit of moral support because I may can't say not so many of you can't be
opposition parties invitation.
Okay,
I am here to see my leader and see we can join.
Okay.
Then some of us will join it.
Mate. Mami Bissau, finally, before we go. What's say that election year between NDC and Movement for Change, right? But in a context, hypothetical situation, say about a year runoff between NDC and NPP, where do you think say Movement for Change more allegiance best swing?
I mean,
me too.
That will be. Now, young fan is our Abu Akramai. Now, we are the part 2 and I'm on energy. Our obia be treat kraman no and the vetre senior mummy mujra baby near Krama no be calling chain and then just anity.
Obanyasa for you buni be yan kana sam.
O Krama ye you no manoso. Aye, woman a bianiadi, so common in woman in you, any other. Obi so dear,
Krama will boot to Krama.
No, Bono.
Where we are bear? Where we are bear?
Don't worry.
Obanyasa for you buni be. Yati ase pepepe. Yati ase yan kesapi. Bro Hobson, Bepacho, da ben ye benya bre atnas and call strictly into the great transformational plan. I know they are no kwan ye be discuss it into detail pa. Da ben Bepacho when time.
Oh, what the propose date na ya.
Mate.
Because now get to say yeah Monday and get the tibum ma. Yeah, the tibum so dia. When you say ne why she. I don't know time would you cause
I don't know some no.
Any other I
don't know some.
But the Electoral Commission across way. Should be a mile 1 week. Now fe oba out. Na wayena. Then the TFU. And the American and say, look, this election between Alan Tremantin and Joe Muhammad. We come out for the order one or 1 year. Check. Once yes, party be our base.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, new. But yeah, base now, yeah, capture the youth of this country. Now call electoral register no more. The register of 17 million. Youth about 9.5 million in the register. Age between 18 and 35 penal. 9 point something million. It be or more they are targeted as a base. Now, Uko and this year, or most street guys, down Tory for no as their base. Uko MPP more down Tory base no and so MPP base business communities and the middle class. Obianya on research.
Okay,
24 and then some middle class for lawyers and accountant to phone the MPP base. Now, we share the current economic situation. Business people, I can tell you, about 70% or more. Or more change, and those. Middle class for we share the also we share the level of corruption. Any idea? Okay. Ebra me call me go Dubai in the flight. I was shocked. Madam wife na ko na me catch him wife say, "Hey, sir, me obisa." So
now we knew.
A walk to me, and like I was shocked. On my row, na Ghana PDP pa me money. Ghana PDP pa, we top 3. The arms of Aida na yene bako e wo row. Me musu ame ye you hu ya go ye beside. Eje ho na me bu me mu. Any other is. You see? When someone no who can deny they say, who say, Ejramochi Munirabo. Ejramochi Muniramo. They said, what you say? They are fed up or more per or Jephobi. Check. Media, me say, ye to about 7 December year, a month for a betiasie. And somewhere may candidate here. I am telling you. What you now we say ye will meet too. Now bush your kubi say or more dear. Ghana Japadi in almost what they are more money or more than Ankaswa.
Now what be Tiaka?
What you hold defend you? Share what you share president for. And then a my moon penny for. Or more moody or my name. Would you share near or more papa no more ebe ye? A trick up or more muscle. Once I John Mahama, Nani Papa, a minister, Kwame Nkrumah.
That's right.
Once I did one, a year, Mr. President, Abedi President. Bamudu Maumia, ne Papa, no ye minister. Or did Musa, one baby or do. A Kufuado Papa, so one baby or do. Look, that yen trans out. Bible can say be. Free quotation of men try and conquer.
Oh no, suffer when you say.
The rich will be richer and the poor
will get poorer. Yeah.
This is second is I just said what can I say? Anna Waja Juma said me ton idea, me bunya, me ton say, Anna Magnescan Magnamu. They said the business people be you home. Despite money, they do almost 30 or multi a ton cassette or mumwa and no more to baby. And yes, how get taxes and a month for us. And yet, Yakine a buoying. Yes, here the cool biaba, a company biaba, or no, and the baba ye mineral royalties at their my mineral royalties or muye, who take care. Now, yet the 1 billion abba parliament. Let's just say 5.5 billion, echo go bush and be account to. Now 1 billion on the buy no ground massage percentage will move you as I so. I peso. Now, what you was say, what ye will meet to eh? That's it. Umabi who say, now that assembly have a tutor. What say, and I still now what you want to say, Omani or Mufanjo. Omufanjo. Let us build a nation. Epe poa yenina. Obi to me be service. We grab a car when we position here. But the sum of my Ghana.
There you go.
But the my Ghana. But if we catch him, say, offer this EB. That was Shanty. Me more district, me more district about Buhuni Paprutino. I don't say Menko, no Muncha Galam say site in the Bimami. This was 2018.
Wow.
I did not go. Now, a baby and me catch him wife say, I see if we send them in the say, and repeat to send never back. Now, me want national security. I say, where ye Sampa Quem who precious be, say, amount for a discount or more catch me, oh, me fat guys here, go. Me see you, me see what that. Me see what. Enti, nobody do a hodoma. Ye car, ye do ye count.
Mamma Busao, as some are walking on the hills of that. Meaning say around there up there, but me what can be up to my beings in this review. Now, MPP no, that Kuma pa and na Ebimonso feel say Alan Chamatin etu edeko. Right? Oh, can't party their base. Or say moon ni base, more new. But I don't agree with you. I think say more the part of the MPP base no echo.
Man can say the base. I say your base, I the youth of
well, I'm sorry, let me correct that. One can say money base. Yes. But me feel say beyond the youth of the country, which is general. Me feel say more part of your base, part of the NPP. Those who have their heads screwed on a move who said, nah, something is not right here. And we but Omun soon to me, they can't bring themselves to go and vote for NDC or something like that. Afafanto becomes an alternative for them. And
Menko Kanesana or money about Mohoso.
What did that there? What did that? Oh, your monka cracker.
Really? I lunch about it. Any benefactor who I share in near before. You call walk, I will come as so who numbers. I class over numbers.
It was very impressive.
And this, say, young family say, NDC in the framework. How did I who you know? 99.9 AMPP4. 99.9% AMPP4. And the nobody go on my other misery. We call Makola, Madame Fubi, Emma, Eba Hodom. I know I say, your course here, Papa. I don't see who Mabidu had their one family, 1 or 2 people, Grophobia or Mupeiba. At your fruso, your careful baby, not be cruel, maybe. Eti your call Homina ye piano. You are free lady. I must say, that now all you would do, Hano, the didn't you home. Now, Nipano and Namono. Go to her see what the man can. I did not go, baby, as I the make call. What you say, me meeting over to Abama Brandwana. Currently, me ben na ye kasa. Sa ofri mi krom.
Wow.
Ofri mi krom. Anu o ka kire me say, me meeting obeto Abama Fafando. Look, you have no idea
The impact
the
you're making.
number of people just say omo hwe duma media omo me duma ebe complimented alanche manche dia woye. You have no idea.
I see. Brother Hobson.
Yeah, what did you? What got you break it? That means Riboko. That means Riboko. Yeah, November 1. What we should say, you better in that. Trans or Wafa, I'll burn a chanting. Look, I can't do it. Many of you what you go to a chanting. What do you want to be?
Hey, I said,
so many buyers are the video one. What do you mean, your focal? Ghana for better, but no. We catch him in proposal. Oh, 2016. Now, you appointed Charlotte to say, Obias, oh, baby, wait there, this in Yedina Yakabs. Charlotte say, register, yes, sir. Kokubo, I want you to say, MPP stronghold to ground, growth only been to Abadi. Make catch a Kufuado on the platform. Sabana ye kotono. OBT Mahama less than 1 million votes because Machi Ghana. Mahuhawa change na ebano. The nim said the wood tufa. A chebe BT Mahama more than 1 million votes. A Kufa to TM what you know so what TM hey. A dear point you need ano. You better prove your business. I said I was say what did this over with you now? Over 1 million in there as about Kododo. And I'm catching a 1 trade. A Japan, but if you idea beat you, Mahama 1 billion. The true one was shaking me was yes, I not trust whatever you say. So, yet the Yato form may say change in Ayabano and a move to America. Nayana, Jinami, Timisi, or Najaza.
And we be never Ghana, no political tsunami, electoral tsunami never Ghana.
Tsunami never December 17.
Nama for so munjemo, almost so munjemo, and also a yension was some
I don't know Mupua, a young bro, a massam, and no more camo. Yatua baby, ya beat you, Ubia, you won't free. More honey over no grand one because I know Mamma Lodida. What would Jamu 10. Check. I bet I have me, my Hussaino. My Hussaino. But me can sign war a year so. Now, dear, my young body who said, oh, Radin Yanko. Oh, Mr. Ghana by yellow. What was it? What the wine? Say, me hand you over. I don't know they are massive no more. I am massive.
Well, hosting and commanded Dawson. Hey, you see, me say another bad 3 questions view, but me say one break.
What it be, sir?
Okay, and then maybe say. First of all, no, what can say in Kofobi so honoma say a bind son, ube making sure a company so unbeko jail pay. Na yen tie eno to sika Ghana here, right? Say me say Alan Chamatin espousing the GTP now. One of the things I hear people saying is say Okoko Ghana is broke, right? But also so promises say we lead this campaign. Say in jail or moko, you bet this can be. No na Alanchamatin at least obey me their funding no money be up so you know. Tai sa asam na ya tai kano. So obey my jelly overhead lead the charge to make sure certain people account for their stewardship no. Bonitofa kakrama e wo.
Yeah, on the maka and it's a promise. And then the threat a promise. Actually, me go there. Me aye Captain Smart is over enemy. Few people is over enemy. Aye JDM Crusaders. JDM Crusaders. The here say abayansesa. It doesn't matter who is the president.
JDM Crusaders.
Yes. The here say abayansesa. It doesn't matter. Say aye Alan, say aye Mahama. Some people must go to jail. Okay? What dear? My Memphis National Cathedral pay $58 million. Abasigo. Near fundraising. Now, the Kaya sorry. Now, amount for $20,000, $10,000. Now, hey, the Kaya fundraising your muye, Kawakra. No much table siama sorry. Hey. Na one more friend business for a woman. You see table you babaje bako $20,000. Obi say oh maybe I make mama 10. Obi say make mama say omujijinina enka $58 million ho.
Nana kami bebisa o property ni so na omububu ya ni ade no. Eka $58 million no na say $58 million ni skanka so mo je a fee na saketi ni let's say dan ye bugu ye ni sa no mani na kra so nka ho
na ubu da go no udieska
say it be value na the can the total cost of
value say I don't know the nka ho all the say abubu atu agu I don't know the nka ho kra na ukotu Ghana ska say egu na o say the mayenjo me say Wahu galamse. Wahu a kaya bo galamse who galam stop, dear stop on India.
How many $1 million a quarter? Obviously saying
as I said, President Akufo-Addo Ankasa Kuchina court on that. The ministers of we are involved with the United States court. Either you refund the money or we tell you. Why wouldn't we say at the way? Won't mean yet. Ebi a home profession won't mean chewon. Na yes, every day. Now the worst of it all, cry say. Frequent Roman person. I'm read that for the say. Your forest is a reserve. No piankum.
Yep.
Won't mean could trade. Who could trade the Akra and a chewa problem?
Yes.
Now a Akufo-Addo abang etimaba beya amendment is say. Says it the forest, you know, inside the palm, by the mouth. Now we jaggalam see. And then be CEO of a forestry commission, media that time. This is any forest reserve. Yes, forests are there, war reserves in who couldn't you know what Galam say, Ecoso. Manasi, the investigations are one year. I buy moon pending for a womb. Some pine money or mom kikaika, won't to mimo, and your mom kikaika. A center of forest. Now, what's he saying? Some for the moment got them.
In cancer,
madachi. Madachi. What's the mom go prison?
Missing in cancer.
Prison with hard labor. I saw for Yadimu Cocotra Cathedral, you so. Abuti Ghana sika what's the moment got them? Eish. And that's how we are going. Nyankopon or your God of justice.
Justice, that's right. Judgment.
Or your God of justice. And they say, Yet we are home. Don't be a grand power people by grand give you guys go on just because this called the better granum granu and you have been done. That's also you can't the billionaires in this country. Okay. What's it? There may be a honor Media, my imagine say, me man free man no crama. I don't know, a technical knockout. A bias is sunny statistic they have nothing to do.
Do blow niche, try and son, do the right time.
I just saw Mutemukeko, would Temunia confiscate to the man and Yaton Yaman State. Next time, will be bad by moi or pay careful. Okay, answer or bar, ye or best or better reform of the constitutional. President, sitting president, as he said, yes, say, Wokran will involve who as he said, the anti-corruption zana or the ban, what to be prosecuted. And so to be prosecuted. Who share under corruption in some way, I mean, it was about amending constitution, no establishing and appoint an anti-corruption czar with independent prosecutorial authority, separate from that of the Attorney General. And then, special prosecutor, as a special prosecutor, or the prosecuting department. Is it no waste of state resources? Special prosecutor, share budget, I don't know today. Now, open prosecutor, you say Attorney General, about clearance answer. It is will be a minister. Now, Wakako ye BB. Now, I thought a special prosecutor was it Ode Mamenfa, me any example, Sister Dapa. The case is a true baby. Special prosecutor said, as I said, what in the court. Attorney General said there be Macreno.
Yeah.
Happy Papa now is a no issue. I was looking. Yes, it's a me and my area, Madania, Ediama, Yoko. Yoko is all Yashu movie. How can we grow as a nation?
Imagine.
Eti with Alan Tremantin was so obeying say, even the sitting president, when you get yourself involved in any corruption-related activity, as I said, to prosecute, that will be the beginning of the development of this country.
Great. The other one I'm a person in Bissau, if you have the time also, answer the corner. You threatened with lawsuit over the Japadie, documents. But Mati said, you're even louder after. What a pretty t-shirt, see that. First of all, the t-shirt, time in a Sabeca media, me pacho, say a campaign, mommy been a shower how. Then a campaign international. What's that?
What's the name of address?
Me send no address. Me pacho pa, send me been a chef for show this, me shambra show this in a Obia who say yes. Sharp cry. But what's the status of that?
France, what kind of Mr. Fabra? John say me command by 11. Send me our channel be pedia.
Mesu Sabrem 11. Be a fancy football team was it. Yeah. You ever talk about boy na Jesse, Japan, stop it, Japan, Jesse.
Me print Japan document na Ankasa. That be the GTP account na be the bro.
That was CP, Miss Benibe Sopa, Medase.
Na what kind edit. You see, lawsuit in Abano is a good opportunity for Ghanaians to know the truth of the matter. What I say? Because I am not the author of the Japadie book. About the trouble thing is a public concern. Uganda yijina Japadie. Hey, Japadie I'm in Makahubi. No be on the Ojidi Amani Mangwa. And you think I should be quiet? Make up myself. Now, someone say, I know more than Troy. I end this for the Troy.
Yeah.
The party say my different would we see you. I don't know Troy. And this is what I didn't have before this is so good. I didn't just say, "Who now would you have a one?" We are no any at once.
Hey, Ghana, it's serious. It's serious.
I don't know. And this is what I true, baby. And this is what I true. There's a whole new push. NDC for Jones, did you own a mabodino?
And then I will have a boy. It's if you are then you say you won't cross on your froze.
NDC did that they did this. What did Mama be now? So prove to me. Say, Sadina woman, I want.
Obse, Bedasipi, Yami Shaupi.
They say, Ghana for a opportunity. Look, they say, my sacrifice at their man, the nation. Now, Edwachi, trace upon trace. Any other. But, maybe I make us say, send if you are here then, okay? So, because of the Manipano bribe Manunkum, because we are here then. Obi Owa, won't you be man bribe? And yeah, as a South Bob by ye by me, MPP for cost for perform or Muntimin commit. Yes, I go back as a hopes if it would. Said Nago Ponka said, me tab when you said you were or book post rubber or Muntimin commit. When I make a joke.
I see. Interesting.
Look.
Okay. Obviously,
Encophobia. A yard of who said, you don't want to see one back. No, a go crowd, me buffy. Now, Obitra baby, who can and was ready to go one for no channel. So, yeah, before we make that straight to me. Maybe for maybe if I say, Uraha. Naya Najua, Ope Prasa Madiache.
If you know, cry now, Oprah.
National de Praia for good by Prasa Madiache.
Hey, Charlie.
Me mawa you go. Na mamu akuja trans na fe ba bisa okwazo.
Ya mamu siano. Observe.
On grant ni we ya de vai na go o mesi.
Yeah, that's if you want to be sure. Obviously, maybe some question, but I'm just a question there. We part of it, I know. Now, part of it is so no. You're back dealing with when we sit down with you next. Also, maybe I'll say, what is your plan, Sylvia, on YouTube? Also, maybe I'll say, kindly ask him about his plans for Ghana if they win. Meaning, so I can watch them. I'm patch off for about 2 minutes because summon up Sylvia, mommy, because we tell you here.
The plan for Ghana, number one, Ghana, the issue in economic matters. Bread and butter. Dear, and the baby. Ama sorry na ukwaduma ubenyeska tu botomo de beto January. Number one. Na ubetimi ayesa de no so a na esese wankasa locally no utimi generate. And it and what the 10 strategic anchor of can I say industries ever. Sa industries you know. Look, one government and testers. Government and testers you know, already Ghana through Agua, ye war American market. Eti uye telenia. Now, ye ba prescribe some kind of material sibia ubetimi ediapam. E madie, e memadie, ye Ghana way ye ya mouth sizes no, ya more packaging. Upam na wodiaba. Eti odiba ye na no what time aban etioka ya shape ade no ediko. And no, and the Disika ever be bregana. Every year, Alankasa, or you sue a country like Bangladesh. Eddie, who's a Bangladesh is here, and Tadiano, Tese, or Mupam no more, and you call Amanone Ekokoto. In every year, Womunya $30 billion every year through these testers and government. And Gianfani said, say na say intiminya 30 billion krade nya 10 billion every month. Binia, the country is good to go because IMF ya go they any restrictions in no taxes in there 3 billion pe no mutimi di mai. It is a Hong Kong bit mama 10 billion in the year. I can tell you which you bet to cross so ya yiri one because said your material and your stars there feno. Emrofo no money you ombeto.
That's right.
Just say be apo ye de muba. Eti obi e tele ne nya fe no ba kwetera ho bronya na nipa be mi enu mi ensa bi de gama planners wanya anytime bia They hear say ubitima pam a package diaba, ubina I just say ubit to me at the according. Sadio Manina, a point more, yeah. But free economy so yeah, what we call the industrial sort. Sa industrial sort on so no. Adia, Yuma, Baba or my Ghana, ama the youth of this country. And so at me, Adia, Fake assembly and component manufacturing, so they say, almost started assembly no war. Ghana. As I say, Alan, Ayo no Angasa, ni brain child, you know, what it takes to do that. Now, before some of be free abime, now I no great automobile cancer. Now, and she say 5 years from the day now no great I said, or more a manufacture components no, and this some go for components in laboratory, no more bashishe. I mean, say Toyota design or more factory media are you ready? Just say Bibia airport so come others and so AC or media. And yes, that is it. Yeah. Just imagine. Yankola or school or engineering. I mean, we are ready a job with the home. So that's
right.
What you mean about the room? That's right.
Okay.
You too. Crude. That was your gas. Petrochemicals. No plastic. Yeah, you call free. China. Everybody crude the gas was here. I didn't see a crackers animal. It's about the petrochemical industries. Look, they say Ghana, Mamu Mayem Messi Papa. Mamu Miem Messi. Now you make sure. Allah knew be a would oh, Anna Mayesi, and in the Gaga, or no, or car, yo. Because people would testify, say, as a caphobic room has here, or Mufa Alanzano, and no Majorana, be Mujano. Because that time, Allah identify, we say, oh, ye business. Now, or brown invitation, or ye say, or Kaya, Emperor Ghana, and no, and I know the business people. What it we are, UN, Emma Nakonya, now watching grants, no the amount. Sure, those days, they are $100,000 in the amount, say, Pasha Wadumo, and Jessica, over Bitriaka. No moon, or my special, no more monitor, no more say with manager. A company like Casablanca. Okay? The factory, the STA. And you true Alan. Which Alan chain, and a Casablanca friend say, nothing now, Casa, who you sue me as example, was it? Now, we should get this example. Was it no? For meeting now, for who say you true you, and a bit, baby.
And only Alan a issue, but people think that he's too soft-spoken, you know, and he doesn't. But that's why he needs people like you who proves no punches at all, you know. In nature, yeah, that's right.
Like, I can forward say we say I can pankasa. So yeah. I couldn't like I'm saying the way I never father no. Ne father no wusika and so wama just say no mum boostini and the no. I don't hey.
And to say be more,
Sebe. Pass me and the yes, I know. Gotta have the moving also.
Rahobson, Medasipi. Yabeshada, Sylvia, like I said, no, on to me with the time I can, on to me and Kabibia, right? But at least with one more idea what the Great Transformational Plan is about and what Mr. Alan Chamatin, he voted into power now, what he has in his head for the youth of Ghana and all of that. Like I said, Yabeshada in Atinasi, they are Great Transformational Plan, one item by item, right? There are some areas, me personally, the person with hopes international meaning didn't come about tourism, the tourism sector, and hopes no about me pachopa should I prepare one power mommy because before say one cash cow.
One of the tourism is one of the pillars under the economic cluster.
The GTP, you know that there you go. And you know you better come into details when we sit back down with Hobson Adoye another time. Right. Hobson, me da CP na me shout what that and you been and you can say it can come on very short, but Akwakwa very, very, very interesting.
We send GTP soft copy. Nama send a Japanese soft copy the amount. You be open Bibiano or get in touch
with you. Number 4 sharp. Sintomati. Anybody who wants a copy of the Great Transformational Plan, no, hit me up, right? And I say, call WhatsApp group, so call the WhatsApp platform, so we'll post it on the WhatsApp platform GH News Now, Radio Culture, GH News Now WhatsApp platform. We'll post it there for everybody to access. But still, if you're not on that platform and you want it, let me know. I'll shoot it to you free of charge. Thank you very much, Mr. Hobson Adoye of the great, you kind of saying the Movement for Change. And I'll be right back. Yeah, Tracy Benya, NDC4, a representative, youth organizer of the NDC Texas. No, honestly, you know, upcoming demonstration in Wasem for just a few minutes. They will be right back.
If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish what this country we call Ghana. Shine your eye, so say you go down your grind, more way, go pop in time, pop in time, more way. Shine your eye, so say you go down your grind, activity, no place, cool for this life. Oh yeah, so we. Kwala wabra sukunya kwala te forma woni akonya hwe afi ya twa te yeni akoma wo be se ye waka se wiene mo penafo akoda never na se cast mu twi ni free ana meboa esgracia wa yonko wade wa mo e kwan ni ne ya kan go matiatra bubu nu eguma so mo man no na ne ap bibisa kebi mame kebi ye adwuma o ma yeti mu kan kura ni egu adwuma bibisa tipeni fu e go mo watema na die mu apa no mo wodi jenchima e bia mo temoto so na mo hwe ni media for boss as we are more chance no na doso e would ya boss kita shisha pro ye o my boss
we know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. You be serial caller, your mouth is full of baller. Always insulting elder, hungry man, they defend master. At the end of this month, oh, no food for baby's mouth, oh. Why be this feeling shout, everything always shout, ready, come oh God, and his family, they enjoy. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. Contra 56 ambulance and 200,000 B8. Sick nation. I know what we know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. They insult us so much, I wonder why we know vex. They have pushed our every button, oh, I wonder what is next.
Yeah, I'm still trying to reach Moses Abotsi. Moses Abotsi is the youth organizer for the National Democratic Congress Texas branch. That's one of their foreign cells in the Texas branch. But I'm having a hard time. Please hold on. We will try and raise him. If we're not, then we'll just round up the show for today.
I swear, this time we know we'll take them now. Go Gangalea, on Bagawaya. I swear, this time they will start our down. You say you be food soldier, they follow for a low party matter, they carry all God dirty water, present in every danger. At the end of this year, waiting you get my dear. As it they come clear that these people they don't care. We know vex enough. We know vex enough.
If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish what this country we call Ghana. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish what this country we call Ghana. Shine your eye, so say you go down your grind, more way, go pop in time, pop in time, more way. Shine your eye, so say you go down your grind, activity, no place, cool for this life. Oh yeah, so we. It's the kind of modern kwala. Wabras Kunya Kolati for my Winia Kunya. Afi Yakiati Yenia Kuma, say you work as if you know Pena Fuakoda. Never. Nasakasi Mukini free and I'm a boy. As Gracia or Yonko Adewamua, a fine in it, Yakan Yatra, Wunia Gumasuma, Nania, maybe Kebi Mammy Kebi Yajuma, or my Mukano Krani, Guajuma, maybe Tiffany Fui, Wamotema, the dear Muapan or Mudi James. Maybe I'm a so, Namosheni, Media for Bosso, and see a Mochaso, Ronadoso, and Wudia Bosso, Ketashi Shapoya, or mine.
We know vex enough. Oh.
All right. We never vex enough. Okay. So, Mr. Abotsi is not picking up at the moment. I don't blame him. He was supposed to come on at 10 a.m. That was the time that was advertised. But we got Hobson Adoye and we decided to sneak him up on the audience. So, and the conversation with Hobson went a little beyond time. So I think Mr. Abotsi is probably busy doing something else by now. We do apologize, first of all, to Mr. Abotsi and also to our audience. But what we're going to do is we'll bring you Mr. Abotsi in midweek editorial, okay? Midweek editorial. What we might do is that we can have Mr. Abotsi and maybe a few other guests on the day of the demonstration proper, so we can tag along with what's going on. By the time I best sorry, I said the Mona start to Ghana, but we'll still do our best to tap in and discuss what's going on with that. With that said, I do want to say thank you very much for watching or listening to today's show. If you're listening on Modern Ghana, say thank you very much. If you try to listen on ghnewsnow.com and you are not able to, it's not your fault. The site is still under maintenance. Do pardon the extended wait. And also, if you were watching us on social media, thank you very much for doing so. Please spread the word and share our platforms share our content to other platforms so that other people can benefit from the work that we do here. We do appreciate that very much. Thank you so much for doing the listening and the watching. If you're watching on YouTube, my name is Kwesi, a son. Bako. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'll see you midweek with Midweek Editorial. One love every time.
They carry Oga dirty water, present in every danger. At the end of this year, waiting you get my